we are now being told that we are getting very close to the Fury versus Joshua fight, which people are demanding for lots of different reasons. Whilst I don't think it's the fight that it was, I think it's a necessary box. They're two great British fighters of a generation. I think Anthony Joshua has a lot to thank Tyson Fury for because of what he did in 2015, which was rid ourselves of the slightly boring Klitschko era, with all due respect to Vladimir and to Vitaly, and move us into an opportunity where Anthony Joshua sort of transcended boxing. I mean, when you hear that scenario being played out and seemingly with more meaning, despite the protestations of Tyson that he's still retired, is this something you're optimistic for? You think this is going to happen?
Yeah, I do think it's going to happen. I think that Turkey Sheikh, Riyadh season, I think they've shown a massive interest in making this fight. I think the rumours are September 2026. Both guys go into a warm-up fight. Forget this fight that AJ's having on Friday night. Yep. Both guys have a warm-up fight and then they fight in September. I think it's a fight that will happen. And I think that, look, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, they brought boxing back to the mainstream again for sure. Yep. And I think that they deserve that fight. All right, they might both be past their best, but I think it's a fight that's still huge interest, probably the biggest fight in boxing still now, just on what they've achieved in the past. And we do get the fight, I'm sure. I think that AJ will probably fight again in February sort of time against a calibre of opponent like a Tony Yoka type guy, that sort of level. Right. Tyson Fury.
He's fighting David Adelaide, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fighting. Yeah. He's fighting not David Adelaide. He's fighting on the 21st in Nigeria.
Okay.
But it's not David Adelaide now.
Because Lawrence Okoli's fighting Ebenezer Tete.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, that's a fascinating fight. The one that was knocked out in one round by Fraser Clark.
Exactly. Yeah, but I think Tyson Fury's been rumoured to be linked with Makhmudov. Yeah. Which is an interesting fight, to be fair, as a comeback fight. Tyson Fury's been out for a while. Makhmudov is a guy that's very heavy-handed, will bring the fight. So not a bad comeback fight, but both guys come through that and we get the mega fight. I think it's good for boxing, don't you two?
Yeah, listen, the Tyson Fury-Anthony Joshua fight has to happen before these two retire. It doesn't matter when it happens. It's box office. Yeah, everybody's going to want to see it.
It is.
Doesn't matter whether it's on the Riyadh cards or it's at Wembley Arena.
I mean, that is this. I mean, it should matter though, Duke. I mean, I don't want to piss on people's parade because the fight gets on. It will be sad. There will be a part of me that thinks it's sad that if you've got the two British heavyweights of the most recent generation having a fight in the Middle East. I understand that's how the scale will be there. That's how the finances will be delivered into this fight. But it's a fight that should be fought on these shores. You know it's going to fill out Wembley Stadium. You know there are other routes to market that potentially could bring the Netflix to the table to try and find some of the finances because you're just seeing it be done with Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. So I do think it would be sad if we were to lose that fight. But I suppose people will say it's the lesser of two evils. Don't have it. Or have it in Riyadh.
Oh, exactly, and I think it's a two-fight deal, Simon. I think that the rematch lands here in the UK, and I think that's probably how they maybe come around there. So I sort of understand it. It's the business side of it,
Let's hear what Dave Allen had to say about that particular fight.
I think it's a good fight for Tyson. I think Makhmudov, he's a name in the UK now after beating myself, and he's a very good fighter, but he's not good enough to beat Tyson Fury. So he's the perfect man, in my opinion.
Do you like that Makhmudov fight for Tyson Fury? Obviously, Makhmudov got a lot of questions asked after him. He got slightly humbled by Ajit Kabiel. Then he loses another fight, and people started to think that he's gone soft. Dave went in against him. People felt that Dave might be able to take his heart. The polar opposite happened in that fight. And Makhmudov came through it with a lot more than people expected him to do so. Reminds us of the fact that he was once quite feared. Is that a good fight for Tyson Fury to be coming back into?
It's the perfect fight for Tyson Fury to come back in. He's a perfect opponent, isn't he? This guy's not a mover and a shaker, and he'll stand in front of Tyson Fury. And if Tyson Fury's in half-decent shape, then he can look like Sugar Ray Leonard again, can't he? Flicks the jab out and moves and does all the little twitches and everything else. Do you know what I mean? So it's a perfect fight for him, wouldn't you say, Spence?
Totally agree, yeah. I think that Makhmudov is a guy that will bring it. He's a little one-dimensional, heavy-handed. Tyson Fury has to be switched on, for sure. But I think that if you look at Agit Kabiel and the way that he beat him, took him apart, because before that, I think Makhmudov was feared as one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the world. Yeah. And he's been exposed a little bit since then, but a great opponent.
No, definitely a good opponent. And also from, your general boxing fans, when he was turning up to obviously square off with Dave and that, he was like the Bond villain, big giant. Then you got Tyson Fury, the big giant as well. So from the outside, it looks the part. But yeah, Tyson, whatever way he wants to box or fight him, it'll be entertaining and it is the perfect opponent. But he did, against Dave, I didn't think he had that much of an engine, to be fair. Yeah. And Dave could have threw a lot more, don't get me wrong, but Dave was like non-stop, like going at him. He just wasn't, throwing enough. But he's shown art, Makhmudov, and he's shown that he's got the fitness, but Fury's just too fast and, but from the outside, looks great.
If you're Anthony Joshua, Pat, who are you looking at as the warm-up for Fury? Is Tony Yoko a good enough opponent, potentially? It's one that's been rumoured in preparation for a mega fight? Because my big argument is Anthony Joshua needs to be prepared for these fights against a certain calibre of opponent so he can step into the opposition and be at that level. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. He's awkward. He's obviously got the pedigree as well as an amateur, so it's got the storyline and stuff like that. And it's a good fight for him to get back because obviously, when he's fighting Jake Paul and he's in the change room, he's going through the rhythm and all that stuff. That's good in terms of getting used to it like that. But then the fight, it ain't going to be as we know. So I reckon, that would be a good
Tony Yoko.
Tony would give him the rounds because look,
he's
Tony,
awkward.
He's had his problems outside of the ring as well, which was, shown in the performances he's had in recent times. But he says that he's back to his best as well now. All those problems are behind him. So it's a great fight. 2 Olympic gold medalists. It's a great fight, and Anthony Joshua would definitely get the rounds.
Let's hear from the old town crime himself, Derek Chisora, on that subject.
I keep saying this, it was like, can you imagine if Tyson Fury retired, AJ retired without fighting each other?
It doesn't make sense.
It don't make sense for us, and we want to see it.
Of course we do.
I'm not even picking sides. I just want to see a great fight. And I'll be honest with you, actually, I'm going to pick sides. AJ wins it.
All right,
the way right now is boxing, Yeah,
I said that as well. I'm
telling you, man. I'm telling you, because the way they're training him and the way he's going to be boxing, we see a totally different guy.
Nah. Spence, you don't agree with that,
I don't know why you're even talking to me about it, because I know exactly where you're going to go with it. It's a waste of time. Ask the boys.
You are going to go with Anthony Joshua in a Fury fight, aren't you? Absolutely. That's your stock in trade after you've removed your head from his arse.
I'd go AJ. I fancy AJ in that one.
Fury.
I'm Fury. I just think he's too awkward, too long, and he's got more strings to his bow.
Well,
I think AJ's got that one big fight left in him. I think he's got that one chance. He'll have that one more bite of the cherry, and I think he could pull it off. I really do.
Let's hope that if and when it does happen, it lives up to all the hype that it will inevitably get, and the fact that these two boys, whilst not at their peak, still give people something that's worth watching, because that's to some extent how they'll be remembered.
Do you know what, Simon? I think some fights are legacy fights, and some fights you're going to always be remembered for because these names have been so big and the fight has been talked about for so long. When you look back in history, this fight is going to mean a lot to both of these guys. When you're talking about best of modern eras and all that, both these names come up all the time. We've all got our own opinions, but then they get a chance. All right, it doesn't matter what level they're both at the same sort of level in their careers. They may not be at their best, but they're both pretty much there or thereabouts. So it's a great fight.
Aren't we waiting for a promoter to say to you and me, there's a fight on the table, it's 2 million, we're going to jump in? Aren't we going to do that in the desert? We're going to do it in the
this conversation, didn't we? I thought you was going to have your warm-up fight at the weekend, mate. I thought that's where it was going. I thought he's chose a difficult one to come back with here.
There are stranger things that can happen.
AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.